Everybody's good?
Yep.
All right, good evening. I'm Lieutenant Rey Spencer, R-A-Y Spencer, S-P-E-N-C-E-R. I'm the Homicide Lieutenant with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. I'm out here this evening to brief you on a homicide investigation that we are conducting in the southwest part of the valley at the intersection of Jones and Warm Springs. I stress that the details I'm sharing right now are extremely preliminary, but at about 8 p.m. this evening, we received report of a shooting that occurred. A NHP trooper was at the intersection driving when he was flagged down by citizens at the intersection. That trooper made a U-turn, pulled into the intersection, and discovered that there were citizens providing first aid to a male victim suffering from a gunshot wound in the parking lot of the business. At that point, there was a crowd around, and the trooper noticed that there was a female standing by who was in possession of a handgun. Additional officers from the Highway Patrol and Metro responded to the scene, and at that point, a female was taken into custody who we believe was the shooter in this incident. What we have learned is that there is a fish truck type business, a food truck, that is in the parking lot of the convenience store. The employees, there were two people at the business working when the victim showed up, and an argument ensued between the victim and at least one, if not two, of the people who were working at the food truck. During that argument, at some point, the victim produced a handgun. At that point, the female is believed to have shot and killed the male half at that point. We believe there is a domestic relationship, that the female is the sister-in-law to the victim, but we are still trying to confirm that. At this point, detectives are interviewing multiple witnesses, and we also are interviewing the female at Metro headquarters. At this point, I'll take a couple questions, but again, I stress the details that I have right now are very preliminary, and I don't know how much more I'll be able to share.
Did the victim have any weapons?
Yes, the victim does have a handgun that is at the scene. So we're still looking into that as far as it was used. We do know it is out, invisible in plain view.
So you're not sure there was a shootout or anything?
I'm sorry?
There was a shootout or anything like that between a suspect and victim?
At this point, we don't know. I do know that the victim had a handgun. The suspect is in possession of a handgun. So that's what we're trying to figure out at this point, if the victim had actually fired any rounds or what led up to the actual shooting.
Will she be booked tonight, do you think?
At this point, it's still too early in the investigation for me to say if she will face any charges or what the circumstances surrounding her firing the rounds are. I don't know at this point.
You had your witnesses kind of confirmed what you think happened, or?
At this point, we will be out here for the next several hours doing interviews with witnesses. There are quite a few witnesses at the gas station that we're still going to be interviewing, so it'll be several hours before I'll be able to make a determination on that as far as what actually occurred. I do know, we do have a witness that stated they saw a female shoot the male, and that's what we're working with right now. So again, it'll be a couple hours before I be able to say anything further on that.
Do you know how many shots were shot on?
I don't know how many shots were fired at this point.
And both people had handguns?
Yes, both people are in possession of handguns.
Can I just double check? So the woman who shot the victim is possibly the sister-in-law of the victim?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, and just to clarify, so the sister-in-law and another male were working at the, it's not a taco truck, but it's a food truck in the parking lot. At that point is when the victim had arrived. There was an altercation of some sort, and during that altercation is when the victim was shot.
Was the gas station pretty active? A lot of people were getting gas, doing business?
Well, I know we have a lot of witnesses that we're interviewing, so that's what we're trying to determine as far as, it's 8 o'clock in the evening, so I imagine the gas station had a decent amount of traffic.
Did you able to view any video camera at the gas station?
We're in the process of that now. Our computer forensics people are out here. We are looking at some video and pulling that video right now.
Would you guys look at that here at the scene, or would you wait to get back to the office to review that? How's that look?
We'll look at that here at the scene if possible. All right. Thank you, guys.
All right.